Hello Summoners, Nightwolf Menace here bringing you a news overview on the version 1.1.1 Grand Summoners app update. Quite a bit has changed with the game and we have a ton of information to cover. So without further delay, let's get straight into it. First and foremost, I'm going to go over the changes that wasn't necessarily specified in the news section of the game. If we take a look at the Giant Bosses tab, you'll notice that we only have access to 2 giant bosses instead of the 9 we normally had to choose from. Don't panic, we still have access to all of the bosses. The only difference is that these bosses will now follow a schedule as when they will be released. Simply check the Giant Bosses schedule tab to check which bosses are coming out, what days, and prepare accordingly. While at first it may seem like a downer, as you can spam all the bosses whenever you want, this is overall helpful to the game. Knowing that there's only 2 giant bosses that will be out at any particular day will make finding a multiplayer lobby a lot easier for said boss. Now that that's out the way, let's dive into the new section of the game. Starting off, we have a new challenging content in Dungeon of Trials. Dungeons of Trials is a limited time event that occurs once a month, starting this month. In Dungeon of Trials, we have access to 15 floors this month, with each floor being more difficult than the last and netting you some neat rewards upon their completion, i.e. crystals, metal, gold, and Tasman keys, alchemy stones, and Gren. Secondly, if you are defeated on the floor, you do not have the option to use a gem to continue the fight, so make sure to prepare accordingly. Also, every month, a new floor will be added to the Dungeon of Trials, so even more cool rewards to collect. If you manage to complete the 15th and final floor this month, you will receive the Lost Arms 5-star Defensive Equipment Award. When equipped to a unit, it gives them 350 attack and 350 defense. It has a 3150 break power and does 2800% water physical damage when max, while also reducing the enemy's attack by 40% for 8 seconds and has a 45-second cast time max limit broken. This is simply an amazing defensive item, perfect to put on an attacker that can utilize it in reducing the damage you would take from an enemy's art attack. Highly recommend using your defense equipment limit break stones if you have any to max limit break it. I managed to attain it this morning and whoo, boy, the fight was insane. I will be posting a guide for you all in the near future to help you get through these floors. Next up, we have the Kill La Kill login bonus. Simply log in between April 18th and May 16th and receive some Kill La Kill chat stickers, crystals, and more. If you scroll down, it goes into more details about 1-star limited equipment, which is basically an event currency that you use to purchase the limited Kill La Kill equipment. You can receive bonus 1-star if you have the Kill La Kill units in your party while completing the event. Taking a look at the equipment info, we have Senketsu, a 5-star defensive item that when max provides 500 defense, the ability Fatal Blow level 1, which increases critical damage by 10%, and when activated, it reduces all allies damage by 25% and HP recovery by 15 for 15 seconds with a cast time of 60 seconds. Next up, we have Junketsu, which when max provides 500 defense and the ability Power Up when near death level 4, which increases damage by 20% when near death. When activated, it negates all allies damage for a total of 400 for 15 seconds and reduces light and dark damage by 10. It has a cast time of 65 seconds. Last up, we have Mako's Knuckle, a 4-star physical item that when max provides 120 attack and the ability skill Speed Up level 3, which increases a unit's skill cast time speed by 15% and does 1200% light physical damage when activated with a break power of 200. It has a 12-second cast time. Now I know that the equipment on the JP server is stronger, but do take note that the equipment over there was balanced toward with Awakening in mind. There is a chance that when we get Awakening that equipment will be boosted, but who knows what Good Smiles company tends to do in that regard. Nonetheless, the equipment we have here is still top tier, and I highly recommend farming for them, especially those Mako Knuckles. It's just too good, even in its nerf state. Now if we take a look at the quest info, we notice that we can get each piece of limited equipment from EX1 all the way to specs. I highly recommend just farming EX2 unless you have a pretty competent team setup, as specs can prove to be quite challenging. Don't worry if you can't clear it though, as a huge number of stars drop from EX2, you'll be capped in no time. Next up, we have limited crystal cell in the Storm bundle. If you're looking to spend money, I definitely recommend checking these out, with the best deal being the $20 pack that you can buy 3 times, which will give you 150 crystals and 3 unit LB stones for $60. If you're well, feel free to buy them all. Now, I hope you've been saving your alchemy stones, because we have our first 10k alchemy stone summon featuring the 3 kill I kill units. You're guaranteed to pull one of them, so hopefully you get the one you want, i.e. it should be Mako. I recommend checking out my previous video if you're looking for information in regards to the units. Now we also have access to a limited gacha kill I kill equipment summons. For 30 crystals you get a guaranteed chance 5-star equipment item with an increased drop rate of the kill I kill equipment. Looking into the equipment, we have Scissors Blade, a 5-star physical attack item which at max enhance gives 500 attack and has a break power of 800. When activated, it does 7500% fire physical damage and increases the unit's own art damage by 30% for 15 seconds and has a cast time of 50 seconds. Next up, we have Bakuzan, a 5-star physical attack item which at max enhance gives 500 attack and has a break power of 1000. When activated, it does 4000% water physical damage and increases own break power by 25% for 6 seconds and has a cast time of 60 seconds. Last up, we have Fight Club Goku Uniform, a 5-star support item which at max enhance gives 250 HP and 125 attack and defense. When activated, it increases all allies' art gauge by 15 as well as increases all allies' attack by 10% for 10 seconds. It has a cast time of 40 seconds. Pretty good equipment here. My recommendation would be to pull for the equipment if you have any spear crystals left only after you have pulled Mako. If you haven't pulled Mako yet, then don't bother with the equipment summon as she is the most important summon during this collab. Next up, we have the new Kill I Kill unit summons added. Again, I recommend checking out my previous video for a general overview of the units. I will leave a link to that video in the description box below. One thing I do want to add, however, that might clear up some misunderstanding is that when you first summon the units, they have a completely different 4-star art than when you evolve them into their 5-star form. Basically, if we compare them to their JP counterparts, they have their true arts as their 5-star form art, as their 5-star arts, whereas they have their normal arts in their 4-star form. Again, the Kill I Kill units over in Japan never had a 4-star form and have an awakening when they were released, so I'm sure when these units get their awakening, this issue will be addressed. Nonetheless, it doesn't change what I said about them in my previous video, and you still want to go for Mako on this banner. Now, wrapping up the news section, we have a Kill I Kill figurine giveaway. If you're interested in a chance to win free figurines of Ryoko, Satsuki, and Mako, simply tap the icon to go to the website and follow the rules for a chance to be one of the 11 lucky winners. That's all for this video, guys. I hope you all enjoyed. Were you all able to obtain Mako? What are your thoughts on the event so far? Let me know down in the comment section below. If you want to see more content from me, make sure to hit that subscribe button so you can stay up to date on everything Grand Summoners. This has been your boy Nightwolf Menace, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.